Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us Lorraine D'Alessio, who's an immigration and business law expert. Lorraine, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Hey, well, I'm looking forward to learning from you because I see in your bio that you are a former Ford International model. And let's see, what field would we want to go into from there? Oh, yeah, immigration law. So that seems like quite a jump. So give us a little bit of your background and what led you in this part of your entrepreneurial journey up to this point.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, in traveling across borders as a model, I quickly became familiar with the challenges that one goes through as they're opening up a new market with the legalities of that. And so on the immigration side, as well as the business law side, from contracts to sorting out visas. And so after my, full-time modeling work, I steered and I said, well, it would be great to be an advocate, really. I want to be an advocate to assist those that are going across borders, doing soft landings into markets and helping to guide them and really delivering innovative legal and immigration solutions that will help them to gain competitive advantage on those, and entering those markets, in particular, the U.S. and Canada. So it's really supporting all of the legal and immigration needs and sorting out a clear path to the client's goals and helping them really guide on every step of the way, no matter where or what part you are at in that process.
A lot of times you hear when you watch Shark Tank, which I am a devoted follower of all the episodes. In fact, me and my whole family will sit down and we can just come up with evaluations because you just learn so much. But one of the things you hear over and over is, I was trying to accomplish X. I looked on the market and couldn't find anything, so I created my own. So in your travels throughout your modeling career, were you hearing people that were just talking in conversation about struggles with, immigration, and I'm just so confused, or I wish this would be different? Is that something that came up that made you kind of tune into that and go, maybe I can be part of that solution?
Yes, certainly. And witnessing a lot of missed opportunities, I would say, just because the knowledge was not there on how to do these particular applications, especially opening up the U.S. So whether that's investor routes or it's actual extraordinary ability visas for, top talent that's coming in the modeling industry, in the fashion industry, is a very specific visa type that most of those qualify under, and that's extraordinary ability. But then if you're approaching it from a company standpoint, then you may come at it from an investor route where you're actually expanding the company and getting the company set up in the U.S. In terms of, intellectual property protections, as well as, corporate setups, as well as the actual visas in hand to get you together. So I observed missed opportunities, frustrations and struggles. For example, there was a particularly big job that was coming up, and, a number of the models were selected to come in. Those were coming in from the UK and Canada for this campaign, which was to occur in Los Angeles. And unfortunately, not all of them had their visa paperwork prepared and ready to go. And I think about half the models actually missed out on those dates of the campaign because they just didn't have the paperwork together. There was a very specific processing time. There were some challenges at that time actually at the border, and if you knew the right people to work with, you could get through. But if you didn't, again, it was quite challenging to sort that out.
Yeah, for sure. And what a source of frustration and what a source of frustration on both sides of the equation, from the models trying to get to the job and earn their money, and then the campaign, the people on the other side of the equation going, we need this to be done. So you focus on clients in the fashion and athletic world. Is that typically your wheelhouse of who you serve?
Yes, that's exactly. So entertainment, fashion, film, television, sports, very heavy on the sports, working with sport professionals coming in from all around the world, from, soccer, basketball, volleyball, MMA, coming here to, attend their tournaments, do the championships, and then leave easily without problems.
So when I hear the word immigration or immigration policies, that makes me think of something more permanent, like I want to move from this country to the United States, for instance. But you're saying that these athletes will have issues to deal with just to come over for a short period of time that need your assistance, right?
Right. Yes. So they, even if it's just a job that's just going to be 2 or 3 days, it's really the same visa process that they have to go through, no matter if it's a short-term job or a long-term job. So it's all the same. So that starting early, being prepared is just essential to making it all work. So, yeah.
So what types of intellectual property are you working with in, let's say, fashion as it relates to, IP, or even does that carry over into athletics as well?
Absolutely. So, 101 is looking at fashion as a business, and a lot of designers approach it from, I'm an artist, and that's wonderful, and they are raring to go in terms of getting their work out there, but they need to take a moment and think about the garments and the apparel and how they're building out their company and monetizing it in terms of establishing a distinct brand. And once you're establishing that distinct brand, what comes along with that is actually sorting the intellectual property side, everything from fashion patents to copyright, to, and really you're trying to veer away from any issues of copyright infringement, trade secrets that you may have that you're wanting to protect in your work. And it's definitely a complex area, as intellectual property is the property. Much of it is what is actually written and developed, and not just based on ideas. And a lot of people think, oh, okay, well, I thought of this great idea, so that I need to protect that. But there's a very specific way that you need to go about, helping to protect the pathway that you're going down to achieve your goal, in monetizing and productizing and developing that brand from that idea from point A to point Z, and that legal team around you, really, I say an intellectual property lawyer, which we have on our team for sure, to help, and myself doing, to help those that are coming in to reach their goals and really commercialize their creations. So that, I would say, to start off with, it's actually looking at the brand itself that you're developing, and any patents, copyright, industrial design rights, trademarking, geographical indications, and maybe some jurisdictional trade secrets that you need to be thinking about as, you're developing that, that slipper or that garment or whatever it might be. So, yeah.
It makes me think when we've been talking about, immigration as it relates to either fully moving to the United States or just coming over for events, whether it's athletes or models, as well as this now IP that you mentioned. Both of those would have a big, I guess what I would ask you to comment on here as we wrap up. Here's this athlete that's coming over for this event, and they just think, I'm coming over to do this thing, and then they get stopped in their tracks at some point where it's like way too late and it causes a big problem. So if we could back up 2 or 3 steps, what is something that one of these athletes or models could be thinking of before the big problem happens so that it doesn't happen, and then maybe reaching out to you proactively ahead of time would make it a lot smoother?
Yeah, so I'd say, before coming in, even if you don't even have the exact event that you're coming in to work on, whether that is, the launch of a show that you're doing, if you're a fashion designer, if it's a tournament, but you're getting to that level in your industry where people are starting to pay notice and you're getting interest, expressed interest. I would even start it at that stage. The reason I say that is once you have that job coming up and you have those dates, then it's determined. The timeline is determined, and it may not line up with the actual processing times to get these permits. So starting early is essential. And I would say putting together a portfolio of your work, having resume, a list of all the projects that you've done. We were just talking about brand and what you've developed, your creations, having that already, and then getting on the phone and doing a consultation. A lot of people are afraid to talk to lawyers. Good law firms typically have some kind of a complimentary consultation, or the consultation is credited to whatever kind of work they're going to do, which is what we certainly do, both of those. And that's a conversation. It's a conversation to look at all the work, see where you're at, and then help to sketch out a timeline for yourself of what you want to do, a checklist, if you will, so that you are prepared and ready when that event comes about. And I think that in some cases you can actually even start preparing the paperwork. And you can give, some instructions. Some people may not even realize that they even have the opportunity already that's in front of them because they didn't know that whatever expressed interest actually counts as an opportunity. So I'd say that, there's a knowledge gap there, and a good lawyer helps to fill it. And when you're equipped with that knowledge, and you have that gatekeeper by your side, you can get a lot done. You can multitask and get a lot done. And so we're a friend, not a foe, I would say.
Well, and it makes me think that these high-level, important people you work with, from actors to athletes to models, they are needing this type of help for a specific purpose, as opposed to just coming for vacation. And vacations are great and wonderful, and if they get disrupted, that's not a good thing. That's frustrating. But these things that they're coming over for are project-based, income-based, career-based, coming over for an event or a game or a modeling contract. These are things that must be, prevented if there's an issue, to keep revenues and their reputation in place. I mean, it's a ding on their reputation if it's like, you didn't realize you needed to, and now you can't be here, and okay, well, next, and then now maybe you're not chosen the next time. So I think that the service you provide is so vital that way. So wrap up with what's the best way that someone listening could reach out and connect with you and see what that consultation could provide them to prevent some of those things from happening in their career.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So our website is www.D'Alessio Law Group, DALESSIO lawgroup.com. You can also catch us at, it feeds in the same way, www.dlgimmigration.com. So either of those URLs go to the same website, basically. You can be reaching out to us right on there. We've got a consultation link there. You can just jump on there and fill it out, and we can start scheduling you. Info at DLG Immigration as well is a good email to reach us out. Or you can also just ping us DM us on Instagram. We have an Instagram there, D'Alessio Law Group Instagram. I'm certainly happy to be jumping on consults, helping people out here. We've got a great team ready to go to help sort out your path and navigate this. I know it can be quite a maze, but it is. I've literally helped thousands and thousands of people every year for about a decade now, and I'd say that From my mentor who did this for 37 years, it is possible. Those dreams are possible. You can absolutely do this. Positive thinking and preparedness and knowledge helps to really equip you so you can sort out that path and really get there because you can. So people telling you can't is, I would say, look beneath the surface. There's usually other ulterior motives there.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, Lorraine, thank you so much for coming on today. It was a pleasure getting to know you, and we'll make sure that the website link is right in the show notes.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure again. And your story, too. I'm so inspired, and thank you for having me on and getting a chance to chat with you today.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.